Hey! It's Credias here, coming at you with a video about multiplying and dividing integers. So, hopefully at this point you know how to add and subtract integers. And now we're moving into multiplication division. And the good news is multiplying and dividing is way easier. So hopefully we have that other stuff down. That way we can just move forward with all of these operations afterwards. So we're going to multiply and divide integers. So integers, reminder, are positive and negative numbers, whole numbers. Okay, and so first, key terms, product. Product is a result of multiplying, and quotient is a result of dividing. So when we have the product, that is the answer to a multiplication problem. When we have the quotient, that is the answer of a division problem. All right, so here are your rules for multiplying and dividing numbers, and they're the same. So the same rules for multiplication as they are for division. So the product or quotient of two integers with the same sign will always be positive. The product or quotient of two integers with different signs will always be negative. Okay? So different signs will always be negative, the same sign will always be positive. And that is it. You don't have to worry about which number is bigger, which number is smaller. You don't have to worry about adding the opposite or changing any signs. It's always just, if you multiply or divide two numbers with the same sign, the answer is always positive. If you multiply two numbers with different signs, the answer is always negative. So here's a couple of examples. Negative 10 times negative 2. So 10 times 2, we just multiply like normal. Okay, so one thing is that this is multiplication right here. Okay, this is multiplication. We no longer use x's to show multiplication. Sorry, my pen's being funny right now. So I'm no longer going to do 10 times negative 2. We don't use x's anymore. The reason why is because when we start getting in algebra and equations, this looks like 10x minus 2. So how do I know if that's 10 times negative 2 or if this is 10 times x minus 2? They look the same. So we don't use x's anymore for multiplication. We also do not use dots. So I'm not going to do 10 times negative 2 because, again, that can sometimes be confused with a decimal. You might see it every once in a while, but we're not going to use it very often. The way we're going to write multiplication is with parentheses. And sometimes you'll just see one number in parentheses. So instead of negative 10 times negative 2 or both are in parentheses, you might see it look like this, which is similar to this problem right here. So in the parentheses, the difference here is, I know a lot of people say, well, we're supposed to do parentheses first, but we're only supposed to work on what's inside the parentheses first based on order of operations. There's nothing to do inside these parentheses. So this is simplified. So the parentheses mean multiplication because there's no sign in between the number negative 10 and this parenthesis. There's nothing in between here. Okay, so that's the difference between negative 10 plus negative 2. The difference is this addition sign. If I don't have that addition sign, it is now multiplication. Okay, so from now on, parentheses is how we'll write down our multiplication. Okay, and that's whether it's negative or not. Okay, so positive numbers will have parentheses, negative numbers will have parentheses. It doesn't matter. And then the first number won't necessarily always have it. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So this is negative 10 times negative 2. So negative 10 times negative 2. So I'm just going to multiply like I normally do. 10 times 2 is 20. And now I look, multiplying the same sign. So my answer is positive. So my answer is just positive 20. I know that's a little weird. Some people get confused by why is a negative times a negative positive. Okay, but if we multiply, but if we follow our rules, multiplying two integers with the same sign, the answer is always going to be positive. Okay. Going on to division. So I have 14 divided by negative 2. One thing that is important to know is we're always going to write our division as fractions. Okay, so before you used to see 14 divided by negative 2. And when I say always, I mean most of the time. I don't mean necessarily 100% of the time. I'm sure we'll still see this division symbol. But for the most part, this division symbol you will not see anymore. Okay. One reason why is it looks like an addition symbol. Sometimes it can get confused with it if we get sloppy handwriting. But really because we use fractions to solve equations a lot. Fractions are really useful for division. Because sometimes it makes our lives a lot easier later on down the road or when it comes to simplifying. So we use fractions to show division. So 14 divided by negative 2 is really the same thing as 14 divided by negative 2. Just like we read left to right, we also read top to bottom. So 14 divided by negative 2, 14 divided by negative 2. Okay. So one way to remember is the top dog always goes inside the house, and the guy in the basement's always coming over to the outside. Okay. So just so we know what order to do it in, especially when we have bigger numbers and we can't just do it in our head. But division. So we always write division as fractions. Fractions are just division problems. So 14 divided by negative 2. So I'm going to divide like normal. So whenever we multiply or divide numbers with positive and negative numbers, we always divide like normal. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. I've done the math. Now it's more of a matter of my answer positive or negative. Well, I have a positive divided by negative. I have different signs, so my answer is negative. So it's negative 7. Go in and try these last two real quick on your own, and then go ahead and unpause it afterwards. Okay. Now that you have worked on both those problems, I'm going to give you a quick little joke. Why are obtuse angles so depressed? So why are obtuse angles are so depressed or so sad? It's because they're never right. Get it? They're never right angles. They're always up. They're never right. They're always obtuse. Boom. All right, moving on. 0 divided by negative 7. Whenever I have 0 divided by anything, it's always 0. Now, if I have 0 divided by a negative number, does that mean it's negative 0? Well, we don't have negative 0. It doesn't exist. It's just 0. Okay, but if this was 10 divided by negative 7, then this would be a negative number because I'd have different signs, but it's just 0. Here we have multiplication. 3 times negative 12. A positive times a negative is always negative because they're different signs. And then 3 times 12 is 36. So my answer is negative 36. Okay. Now, we're going to write and evaluate some expressions for a couple word problems here. So Steve made 7 withdrawals of $75 each from his bank account. What was the overall change in his account? So he's making withdrawals. So what that is when you're taking money out of your bank account. So 7 times he's taking out $75. That is negative $75 because you're taking money out of your account. So when we're withdrawing money from our account, we count that as a negative value. Okay, so, and he's doing it 7 different times. So it would have been 7 times negative 75. Okay, now when I multiply, I know his overall change has to be negative because he took money out of his account. And positive times a negative is always negative. And then I would actually just have to work out 7 times 75. Okay, and so I would do that off to the side. And I would get, let's see, 49 plus 3 is 52. I was like way off there for a second. There we go. All right, so negative 525. So that means he has taken out, his overall change in his account is it went down $525. Go ahead and try number 2 on your own, and then unpause and see if you got the right expression. And because this part matters, writing down the expression matters, and solving it. So go ahead and try it on your own. Okay, so Mary's savings changed by negative $9 each time she goes bowling. So her savings account changes by negative $9 each time she goes bowling. In all, it changed by negative $99 during the summer. How many times did she go bowling in the summer? Okay, so because it's going down $9 each time, and overall it changed by negative $99. So this is where I want to see how many times did she go. This is division. Okay. So really I'm doing the total amount that she spent divided by each time to figure out the amount of time she went. So the change was negative 99 total, and we're dividing that by each time, which was negative 9. So there's my expression. Okay, and I do want you guys to write it as a fraction. Do not write it with that division symbol, please. Now I can actually do 99 divided by 9, which is 11. Negative divided by negative is always positive, so that means the answer is just $11. So I'm sorry, not $11, 11 times. Jeez, how many times did she go bowling this summer? She went 11 times. Okay, and she spent $9 each time, spending a total of $99. And then also, in the context of the word problem, a positive 11 would make sense versus negative 11 because you don't go bowling negative times. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Okay, guys. And your things to remember, the one thing I want you to get down is get down this little chart right here. Okay? If the signs are the same, your answer is always positive. If the signs are different, your answer is always negative. Okay? So get this down. This is kind of a big summary of what we just did. So nothing crazy about this. It's always going to be this simple. One thing I did want to point out, if I have like -2 times -3 times -4, if I'm multiplying 3 negative numbers like this, we always multiply left to right. So the answer to this would actually be negative because I know I'm multiplying the same sign, so which is why we would think it's positive, but it's really negative. And the reason why -2 times -3 is +6. I have a negative times a negative to make positive. If we work left to right and I bring this down, now I have 6 times -4. Now I have a positive times a negative, which is what's going to give me -24. So I just wanted to make sure that we knew that as well. And you can also throw that in there as well to help you guys out. Okay, but make sure you get this chart down. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And thanks for watching. Hope you guys are all doing great. And let me know if you have any questions. Gradius out.